All right, we're here today with the Troy offensive line, the nucleus that made the state championship team run.
Avery Sens, left guard, nose guard.
Ty Spencer at left tackle.
Camden Coyle, right guard, nose tackle.
Seth Feldmeier, right tackle.
Michael Pozeski, center.
Reed Palmer, tight end, D tackle.
Easton Terberry, also a tight end and a defensive tackle.
Now, how does it feel? You got almost 2 weeks being state champs under your belt. Like, we'll start here and we'll go around.
It's still a surreal feeling to be state champs even this much after. It doesn't even feel real still.
Yeah, I'd say it feels pretty surreal, and we put a lot of work into it and got what's ours.
I think it's pretty awesome. We worked really hard in the off season for this, so it's nice to see.
It's pretty cool.
Pretty nice. A lot of work put into it.
Yeah, hasn't really even set in yet for me.
Yeah, it was a fun journey and experience. I don't think Troy will ever stop celebrating it, to be honest. It's a pretty big deal.
A huge deal. What are some of the memories throughout the season when you look back and you remember, like, man, I remember that during the Sayre game or whatever game, not including the playoff games, just the regular season? Do you got any specific memories from, like, regular season that you look back on?
Traveling down to Dover and the coin toss with their Divisional I athletes saying that we'll need luck on our side.
Exactly what Avery said there, and I like the Sayre game when we almost put up 80 on them. And the 2 days, that was real fun.
Yeah, all those things.
Man, you're real innovative, aren't you? Come up with your own lines.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Feldmeier.
Every single day, linemen on the hop to the sled.
Probably the Canton Old Shoe game. That was pretty fun being part of the Old Shoe game, first ever kind of.
Yeah, probably the old shoe game because I used to go to Canton before I moved here, so it was pretty cool to play against them.
I wouldn't really say I had like a game, but the memories of like the bus rides, coming back from games and stuff, and the steak nights that the linemen had. I mean, those are some memories I'll never forget. I mean, beating Ty in chess all the time. So
Sarah's nachos.
Yeah, Sarah's nachos. That was all. Stuff I'll never forget.
Now, from the playoffs, what memories do you have, like, through the playoffs this year and the state finals? Like, we'll just do the playoffs and then we'll come back and we'll do some memories of the state finals.
My favorite memory was when they put in different kid versus Bedford, and he almost got the same play that he got in. He pretty much almost injected himself, punching me in the back after I pancaked him.
Yeah, my favorite thing about the playoffs is us beating Southern Columbia. It was pretty crazy that we put up 69 on them and had our GBs and at I think the end of the fourth quarter.
And you got a big monkey off your back with that playoff win to say we're not second fiddle no more.
Yeah, and we're a big deal.
I think the amount of points that we beat people by in the playoffs was pretty awesome, and that doesn't happen very often.
I liked Marcy ruling a team in the state playoffs. That was pretty cool.
I liked going against Riverside, going against that D1 kid. He's pretty cool. Branch.
Just scoring as many points as we did. It's cool.
For me, it was definitely the Southern game. I mean, no one's beat Southern from around here for like 30 years, so I mean, it's pretty cool that we were the team.
And we put the most points on it.
Yeah, almost 70.
Yeah.
Now, when that field goal hit the ground and the game was over in the state finals, let's go what's going through your head at that point.
There was more emotions than I could count going through my head. I was pretty much pinching myself, seeing if this was real life or if it was still a dream.
Yeah, Same here. I was very excited. I was celebrating. Went to hug my buddy Reed, and I had no helmet on. He headbutted me, so I'd say it's almost broke my teeth. So I'd say it's kind of like painful winning states, but it's pretty fun. Other than that,
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I couldn't even watch the left field goal at the end. I was too scared, but hugging teammates at the end, that was pretty awesome. Realizing what we've done.
I didn't even realize like what had happened when it happened. Like it didn't make sense to me. And
For some reason, that doesn't surprise me really, but
I was just really excited. I didn't really know what to do, but couldn't really comprehend it.
Yeah. It was just, as soon as it hit the ground, it's crazy. I didn't even know what to do.
Yeah, I remember I was out there and I was trying to go up and over the guy, and I like got teeter-tottered and I ate the turf, and then I remember laying on the ground, turning around, and I saw it go wide left, and I kind of just like blacked out. I couldn't really hear or see anything. But yeah, it was a crazy experience. Definitely something I'll never forget. I'm sure these guys won't either.
yeah. So when you got back into town, how was the bus ride back to town after you were state champs?
it was very loud, very loud coming back in. There was pretty much the entire county all piled up on Main Street through Troy, and it was just something never seen before.
And when they stopped the buses right out in front of Vinny's and shut the roads down and there was a pile of people, what was going through your guys' heads at that point?
I was wondering where the champagne was going to come in at that point, and I was waiting for stuff to start flying at us soon.
yeah, it's pretty cool. I've never seen like in that intersection. That's like the most people I've ever seen in my life. There's like the whole town, more people there. I was like, holy crap, when I first got off the bus. But other than that, it was really cool.
And when do you think it sunk in? Because I had been to some practices talking about like people living through you guys. When do you think that sunk in? Like, wow, this is more than Troy. This is the whole area.
I feel like it kind of sunk in me a little before the state games, because my dad, he was always telling me about how there's like different people like going to the game from like different areas and all that. Like he was talking to some dude from Waverly up there at the Riverside game, and like all the like, people all around. It's pretty bizarre.
Hasn't really even sunk in yet. I mean, I know it was a couple weeks ago, but it's still just a crazy feeling knowing what we've done.
the bus ride was really long. I really had to pee. I was really.
Who are you, Forrest Gump?
It was really cool seeing all the people outside the bus cheering for us. Pretty cool.
Yeah, like Seth said, it was a really long bus ride, so just gave us time to chill out a little bit, go celebrate with a bunch of people.
Yeah, it was kind of hard to celebrate with guys like Jack Burbage and Noah Ellis constantly messing with you after. You couldn't do anything without getting like hit or slapped or getting something thrown at you on the bus. But it was like, if you sat in the back of the bus, there's some stories that you'll probably never even want to tell your kids to go on back. Yeah, it's been a fun experience, and I'm glad that I did it with these guys. So.
Now, going back to the beginning of the season, like through preseason, coming into this season, you guys lost to Southern last year. What was the mindset in like, because I've heard a lot of people say when you guys came to the games, it was like business as usual. You guys didn't have many ups and downs. You guys were pretty much just business as usual all the time. So you guys want to elaborate on that a little bit?
Basically, Southern was a little different. It was more of a revenge game in itself, and in my mind it was to just do what I can to make sure they don't play again. But for the other remaining games, it was just do the things we do and execute the way we need to get through.
Wait, so what's the question?
From preseason, all the work you put in, and then like how do you feel like the results of your hard work?
I'm gonna have to pass on that. I can't really think of nothing.
I think we had our eyes set on Southern since we lost them last year. And like after beating that game, I think we knew, a couple of us, that Central Clarion was the next game we'd have to really compete in. So I think we did what we needed to do and won state championship, obviously. Feels awesome.
We knew we were going to win the state championship from the first week of football, so it wasn't a surprise.
A lot of work, a lot of sled time. So I was just playing the game for the seniors so they can leave with a win against Southern. Because I was a freshman, so I didn't really play.
You're a freshman?
Yeah, last year.
Oh, you're a sophomore now?
Yeah.
So, go on. I'm a sophomore.
Just believed in ourselves from very first practice all the way through. And I just had to work hard and do what we do.
I remember Kyle saying the first day he came to get ready for 16 weeks of football because that's how long it is till the state finals. So, I mean, I guess he wasn't lying. I mean,
And what were you thinking when he said that? Were you buying in, or were you like, well, not so fast, my friend?
It didn't sound very appealing, but now after everything is already like folded up, I feel like it was definitely worth the time that we put into it because it's an awesome feeling that not everybody gets to experience. So.
Only 6 teams in the whole state get to win their last game. How does it feel to be one of 6 teams in the whole state that you can call yourself champions?
Well, it feels great now that I was a part of it, but if you asked me maybe week 1 through week 15, if I wanted to keep on going, I would have told you I was content with the NTL championship. So,
When did that mind change? Week 16 when you walked onto the field at the state title?
Basically week 16 when we got to the game.
No, I forget the question because of that. You're gonna have to repeat this because of this. Wait, so what's the question?
The question is, all the hard work you put in to go 16 weeks,
Okay.
was it worth the hard work? Are you going to do it again? Like if you weren't a senior, would you do it again next year with the same fire and grit that you did this year? Now that you climbed the mountain.
If I had one more year left in me, it wouldn't sound too appealing like Avery said, but if we made it there, I'd be very enthused. And we did put a lot of work in this year to make it this far, and we all knew we could make it this far. So yeah, we made it that far. We worked that hard.
It's a great feeling, obviously. It's the best possible outcome to a season. So there's nothing more you can really ask for.
It was pretty cool. I don't really know what else to say.
I'm not gonna say it.
It feels good. Still got 2 years to keep working, try bettering myself.
Now coming back, you got a target on you, so.
Definitely just gonna work as hard, maybe a little bit harder than I did last year, and hopefully we'll be back next year.
Kind of glad that my high school career is over after that. I mean, I feel like there's not really a better way to go out. So, I mean, if I had the option to come back, I probably wouldn't, honestly. Just because, like, I mean, it's...
You're just going to drop the mic and walk off.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it just feels cool to go out with a win like that. So 16-0.
16 senior year.
Now, when you guys walk around town, do you guys get treated any different now than you did a month ago?
More people come up to me when I'm working the easy scan at Tops. That kind of sucks. I don't really like talking to people, but other than that, not really.
I would say not really, because I doubt people think I'm on the football team. They don't know I'm on the football team, I guess. But my parents always tell me that their friends or coworker said great job and heck of a season. So
Yeah, probably not much has changed. I don't know, I'm pretty sure people probably don't think I play football anymore. Yeah, pretty much the same for me.
Nobody really knows who I am. That's not really.
I don't really think so. You still gotta come to school and take some tests, so.
Still gotta do all my homework. Nobody really cares.
Yeah, I guess we'll get the occasional, like, what a season, what a game, stuff like that. But yeah, after a couple weeks, I guess everything goes back to normal. But I mean, still happened, so I can't take it back now. But.
Now, you guys are the offensive line, so nobody has a face for you guys. Nobody knows who you guys are, like you said.
Yeah.
Like you said, nobody knows who you are. So but to know inside that you have played the biggest part of bringing a state title to Troy, how does that feel inside?
It feels very accomplishing after the almost a decade of playing this sport to come out at the top of it all and to end it. It feels amazing.
yeah, what Avery said, it feels really good. Like our one coach Joe says, without the line, it's just plain catch.
Yeah, it's awesome. I'm fine with not being in the paper and whatnot. I still get steak on Thursdays, so that's all I really care about.
You don't eat it. Go ahead, Seth.
I honestly forgot the question.
The question is, you guys are unsung heroes and nobody knows who you are. And that's an important thing for me to be here today, because in 20 years or 10 years when you watch this video, this is like a big deal. And it might not be a big deal to you sitting here now, but it's going to be, the older you get, the more it becomes a huge deal. Because in case you didn't know, the NTL, there's not a whole bunch of state titles racking up here. I've been alive 54 years. This is the first state title we brought back to the NTL. So I mean, what you guys have done is astronomical. So being one of the unsung heroes that nobody knows who you are, but you had a huge part. Without you guys, and not, like he said, you're just playing catch. How does that feel, Seth?
It feels pretty good to know that we were the sole reason and one of the bigger reasons that we won the state title and that we made history, especially like.
Feels good. I don't really care that I don't get mentioned a lot. I still know I did my part, and I tried hard. So.
I don't really mind if people don't know or didn't know that I was a part of that. I mean, it's great, but it doesn't bother me any.
Yeah, it's like I feel like a stormtrooper with like Darth Vader. It's like stormtroopers like kill everyone. Well, not necessarily, but it's like a distraction for Darth Vader to do something crazy. So like, yeah, I guess kind of feel like a stormtrooper.
And you feel like a stormtrooper for Woodward and Kimmicks and
Yes.
Burbage and all them guys.
Not JB. Not JB.
All right. You guys are state champs, and if you could say stuff to the fans and your family and all the people that supported you and watched you through all these games, through your whole career, what would you say to them? You got your opportunity right here.
It would just be thank you to all the fans, my family, my father who traveled 3+ hours each week just to get to my game and 3+ hours to get back. If it wasn't for the fans, the community we had around us, we would have never been to the places we were able to go to. Dover, we would have never even, I don't believe, made it to the state championship game this year.
Yeah, I'd just like to thank my family for keep on pushing me for the 16 weeks, and I'd especially like to thank the town for showing up to every game and giving us the motivation and courage to play for this town and win a state championship for them.
Yeah, I'd like to thank my parents and a couple of my family members going to all my games. And the community obviously was always there showing up for us, me and Lab in the student section and the stands and whatnot. So That's pretty awesome of them. Thank you.
I'd like to thank my mom because she makes me food, and the food is good. And I'd like to thank the community for being there through the good years and the bad years.
I'd like to thank my grandpa for coming to all my games and trying to make me a better man, get stronger, and work hard.
Yeah. I'd like to thank, obviously, my family, all the fans, friends. They come to the game, talk to me in school about it. Yeah,
Yeah, I thank my mom and dad and my grandparents for going to every game, and especially the community. I mean, it's the support we've had this year has been like nothing I've ever seen before, even with like professional sports teams. I mean, I feel like you don't get that much support for like any other sport besides football. I mean, if you look at like baseball games and volleyball games, there'll be a couple people here and there, but for the home games we had, there was people like filling out the stands every single night, even at away games. The playoffs especially played a huge role for our run we had. And I would also like to thank Seth's mom for making us food on Thursday. It's all very good.
Now, with your coaches, if you could say anything to the coaches, what coaches would you say stuff to, and what would you say to them?
This entire table here of all linemen, we can't be done without Joe Millard, obviously, the line coach, the second coming of John Madden in my eyes. Even though I had to endure the sled more times than I think he did in his career, I'm very appreciative of all the work, all the commitment he put in through the off season, opening up the weight room at 5 in the morning before he had to go into work, and just always being there for one of us, with a whistle or without one. And then obviously Kyle, who supplied us with the steaks every Thursday, even when he didn't make mine correct, which mostly happened every Thursday. But I'm still very appreciative of what he did. And that can't be done without Seth's mom as well. The true backbone of this team, Sarah Feldmeier.
Yeah. Avery just stole all the words out of my mouth, I could say it. But another coach I would really like to thank is Coach Tucker, because he put like a lot of time from away from his family and put it into our football team, and always studied like the game film and made us like remember and memorize their whole like offensive schemes, and we knew what to run when they're on offense. And he just like made us focus in practice and make sure we just showed up every game and all that. So I'd like to thank him.
Exactly what Avery said. You gotta thank all the coaches that treat us like family all year. Nothing more than that.
I love you, Joe.
That's it. I'd like to thank Joe for keep us going and trying to better ourselves and keep us working hard.
Obviously, I have to thank Joe, but I also got to thank Kyle for getting me away from the sled a few times. Thank you.
Yeah, obviously Joe Millard, but the head coach Jimmy Bob, he was pretty influential to all of us, obviously being the head coach. But I would like to thank Rob Gilliland. I remember junior high, he was talking to me before I even played football, and he would convince me to play. So I wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for him. And I'd also like to thank Coach Ammerman. He didn't really coach me much, but he was just a pretty cool guy at practice, fun to talk to. So yeah, so obviously thank all the coaches though.
Now, what do you guys think in your guys' playoff run the hardest team to prepare for was?
The hardest team to prepare for was, I would say, Riverside. Trying to be able to go and compete in a game without having a school day happening before or during that same day, to get up mentally and physically and get around and to prepare ourselves in the chance that this happens is the hardest thing that we had to do.
For me, it was all kind of the same because I play only one side of the ball, so it's not like I play defense and have to know what formations they all line up in. So I just ran the same stuff we ran every other week, and I just had to block in their formations they lined up in defense, so it didn't really change.
Yeah, I think Riverside too. I think they run a lot of things that other teams don't run, so it's a little different to prepare for. But I think in the end we did a good job doing it. So
I'd probably say Bedford because they had a really funky snap count, and it was just weird to do and stuff. So.
I'd probably say Riverside, knowing I had a really good kid against me, head up me, just trying to prepare for that.
Going off set, Bedford, some of us had a hard time figuring that out a little bit in practice. Of course I did, but he did.
For me, it was like as a team collectively, it was without a fraction of a doubt Southern Columbia. At the beginning of the week, the coaches said we were going to go into it like every other week, but that Monday we had when we just lifted and watched film, we had like an hour and a half walkthrough, which we've never done for any other team before. And every day, every practice was like half hour longer. I mean, we pretty much had their playbook memorized, but they'd come up to the line and we'd know what they were running before they even called the play out. So, I mean, we were just super prepared, but that was definitely, I feel like, the week we were the hardest. So.
Through the season, the community was really behind you the whole season, obviously. Who would you like to thank in the community that really stood up and above for you guys?
Everybody stood up and above for us. Coming back from the district championship, Vinny stepped up. Building 9 was there. Every week we had players go to the Vets Club and we'd have people buy their food that week, even when James Dyke ordered 4 meals without tipping anything. But I digress on that part. The Feldmeier's Ranch every Thursday was a backbone to the line itself, with that head chef, Sarah Feldmeier, amazing person.
How do you even follow that up?
Yeah, I don't know how to follow that up, but yeah, he stole everything I wanted to say. But I'd also like to thank the Moose Lodge for the amazing wing night we had right before one of their games, I think it is. But me and Easton demolished probably like 30, 40 wings each, and it's a crazy night, and I love them.
yeah, definitely like to thank everybody that gave us food and had places for us, but definitely the Vets Club. They paid for our food a couple times later in the season, so I'd like to thank them.
I'd probably thank Tops for giving Avery a job here so he can afford all his food.
Well, what about Sarah Feldmeier? Like you're not gonna give your mom a shout out?
I think they've done enough, honestly.
I love you, Sarah.
I'd like to thank the Vets Club for giving us good food and being always nice to us.
Obviously the Vets Club. I win every week, didn't miss a week.
I would also like to thank the Vets Club, but I'd also like to thank Charlie from Building 9. Every game, me and a couple guys would go in there and play pinball, and yeah, it was just a really good atmosphere and fun times. I'd also like to thank my chiropractor, Dr. Horn. You should check him out. He knows what he's doing. He's a good guy, so yeah, he'll get you right.
There's an anonymous person that's behind your guys is winning all these games, and I think her name is Sarah Feldmeier. Would you like to comment on Sarah?
An amazing person. She's, I would call her the mom of the team, feeding all of us when we had team steak night and when we had our normal lineman dinner. She was always there making sides, including my favorite, the nachos and the Rice Krispie treats that Joe Millard really loved during the year. Couldn't have been done without her.
Yeah, I just like to thank Sarah Feldmeier. She's like a second mother to me in the football team. She always made her delicious pork nachos and beef nachos, and then a highlight Thursday night steak dinners at the Feldmeier Ranch. But yeah, I'd like to thank Brad. Thank you, Brad.
I love Sarah Feldmeier. She made us all amazing food every Thursday night for all the linemen. Probably wouldn't have been done without her, honestly. So her mac and cheese and dessert, best things there. So,
Seth Feldmeier, what do you got to say about Mama Bear?
Sarah Feldmeier is my mother. She's my first mother, and now all of their mothers are my second mother.
Thanks though, Ms. Feldmeier, for making the best mac and cheese and Rice Krispies.
They kind of just stole everything I wanted to say, I guess, about beautiful lady Mrs. Feldmeier.
Miss Feldmeier is the very nicest person I've ever met in my life. And my favorite thing that she made this year, she made this garlic bread on like a hot dog bun. I'd also like to thank Brad for holding down the fort. Doing a great job. Keep it up.
All right, what would you have to say to the underclassmen that are coming to play next year, now that you guys got a state title, you got a target on your back, it's a big uphill battle?
Don't be upset to not compete at the same level that we did this year. It's always do what your best is, and don't try to compare yourself to this year's team. Just know that whatever the outcome is of the upcoming season, as long as you gave it your all, there's nothing more that can be asked of from you.
Just since it's the off season now, all the people are turning back, and all the 8th graders coming up. Put your head down and keep working, because you guys are gonna have a major target on your back next season.
yeah, obviously us four are going to be a part of the season next year, but they just need to put in the work and have no regrets. Go to all the open gyms, go to all the weight rooms that they can, and there's nothing more you can really ask out of them if they try their hardest.
And there's no shortcuts to get to where you're at. How many of you guys took a shortcut?
None of us.
None, other than Terry Berry.
I think they're very lucky not to have Avery on their team when they're freshmen, so they don't get bullied.
I'd just say, don't be afraid to go into practice. Try getting better every day and going against the best.
Make the weight room your best friend for all the rest of the years you got.
Yeah, just like Ty said, kind of just keep your head down and keep grinding. I mean, eventually it'll pay off in some form. Just some might be bigger than others, like a state championship or an NTL championship. I mean, they're both equally cool, but I mean, one's a little cooler. But
What about district championship? You forgot that one.
Yeah, I mean, I think you guys have a good shot of going and winning it again back to back. But you just gotta stay focused and remember what you're playing for.
All right, we want to thank these offensive linemen for the Troy Trojans. From PA Football News, I'm Lindsey Bennett, and we're here with the state championship offensive line. Thanks for your time, guys. You guys have been great, and we'll see some of you next year. Moving on, Terry Berry playing in Bloomsburg. Thank you so much.
Well, on 3. 1, 2, 3.